Hi, this is Cathleen de Ontiveros, and today I'm going to show you how to make a sewn version of what I call the boutique bow. I use all of my scraps and I make up these cute little bows. They're great for selling at craft fairs, for having on hand for extra gifts. They make a good addition if you are doing a promotion in one of your online stores. You can throw them in as a bonus if they buy something else. We're going to get started by using our pattern for the bow is going to be one sheet of regular printer paper. And I'm just going to trace my pattern off onto my fabric. And I'm going to end up with a piece of fabric like this. The next step will be to fold the fabric the lengthwise. So here's the short version. Here's the short side, here's the long side. We're going to fold it with the long sides together, and then we're going to sew it along that long side. And I have my machine set right here, move the camera, so that the needle is all the way over to the right. I'm going to put it under the foot with the edge of the fabric at the edge of the presser foot with the needle all the way to the left, and I'm going to stitch. That will give us this really narrow seam. So my right sides are together. It made a tube. I'm going to just turn the tube so the right sides are out, and there's my seam. I'm going to take the fabric then so that the seam is in the middle, and I'm going to fold it in half so that I'm looking at the seam on the outside and the inside is the part that doesn't have the seam. And I'm going to sew that along the top right here, which it's going to look like this when we finish. It's going to be another tube, and I'm going to turn that right side out, and I'm going to fold it in half where I have the seam going down what will be the back of our bow, and the front of our bow is smooth, just like that. Now I'm going to need either some ribbon, which would be the fast and easy way to make the middle part of our bow, or I'm going to cut some of our scrap fabric in a 2-inch strip. I'm going to attach a safety pin to the fabric right in the middle at the end where I'm going to start sewing. I'm going to fold it in half, encasing that safety pin on the inside, and again, with the needle is going to be all the way to the right on the whole entire project that we're sewing on this. And I'm just going to sew down the length of our fabric. When I finish, this will be a tube, and it will look, here's a little snippet of it, like this with our narrow seam. I'm going to maneuver that safety pin, gently pushing it up through the tube, and then putting my fabric down like this until I get the safety pin at the other end and pull it all the way through, and we will end up with a tube of fabric like this. And this is what I will use to do the middle of the bow. I'm going to flatten it so that the seam is going to be on the back part, so it will be hidden. And I'm going to take my fabric. Remember, we already turned it, and we have this other tube now with our little seam on the inside, middle seam going down the back, and we're just going to scrunch it with our fingers to get this bow shape. And we want to go right down the middle of the fabric, so it's half and half. Then I'm going to place this fabric tube right over the middle, and I'm going to grab it in the back with my fingers. I'm going to pinch it. Then I'm going to adjust my fabric if I need to, make sure that it looks like a bow that I like. Then with the needle and thread, I'm going to stitch this by hand right across the back, nice and tight. Hold it with the pin if you need to. there we've got our bow shape. The very last part will be to attach one of these little clips. Buy them in the craft department at Walmart or Joann's Fabric Store. Michael's has them. And I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to attach it with needle and thread by hand to where these little holes are at on each end. And I like to put a few loops going through the middle right there as well, just to secure it really well in place. I do not like to glue these in place because the glue doesn't hold over time and then your bow falls apart. I like to have really well-made items because it's your reputation in the end. You don't want to sell something and have it fall apart later, because then your client is going to remember that and not want to make a purchase again the next time. So remember, when you're sewing, save all of your scraps. You can use them to make cute little projects like this that in the end can really turn around and work for you. I'd save you a lot of money on gifts, or it can give you a lot more money in your sales. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Check my links below for my sewing group. Happy sewing and blessings to all.